Hello, how are you? So, on this week's Insta Live chat with a buddy, aka my personal therapy, aka week 48 of staying on a level in lockdown, I'm speaking to the wonderful Abi Sampa. Now, Abi and I have known each other for years. She's an amazing Veena player, vocalist, and we know each other in so many different permutations and combinations and have crossed paths all over the world, so I can't wait to speak to her. But in the meantime, hey Bailey, how's it going, bruv? Hi Bhavnik. Hi Priti, how are you? Hi Isuru, how's it going? Here's Abi. I will just connect with her. Hopefully she's got a decent enough internet connection, and this will all go hitch free. Yes. Hey Mogara, how are you? Let's see if this is level. Hey!
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very well. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you see me and can you hear me?
You look perfectly framed. This is awesome.
Good.
Well lit, the works.
I did sit here for about 10 minutes being like, is this the right angle? Is this my best angle?
That's good. I was busy on the toilet. I'm sorry I'm so late. Basically, I realized that the back of my hair looks like a fucking hair, like a bird's nest that's fallen out of a tree and then been run over by a truck, because I haven't had a haircut in so long. So I had to sort of make it look...
Who has, right? Who has?
You look amazing. Your hair looks wonderful. What are you talking about?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But that's it. We were sort of... Yeah,
I'm just going to turn the volume up so I can hear your voice a bit more.
Is this mic working, by the way? The one, am I getting louder when I speak here? Yes, I think I can hear that as well. Cool. So it's working.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, thank you for doing this, first of all. I'm really excited. Is this your first Insta Live?
This is actually my first Insta Live. I've been asked quite a few times, and yeah, I suppose I had to do it with somebody I knew. So.
And you foolishly agreed to do it with me. That's ridiculous.
I know. Well, why? Why would I do this? Do my first Insta Live with Nerm?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, I mean, to be fair, you're in safe hands. I think it was like when Nitin did the Insta Live with me, that was his first one as well. And that was a shit show because his internet connection was rubbish from one place to the other, so it's really funny.
Oh, okay. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed my mum doesn't call me in the middle of this.
Put it in Do Not Disturb.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me try.
Yeah.
Trying to figure this out whilst being on a live. Oh, Do Not Disturb. Oh, I've done it. That's the first time I've done that.
Voila. So, right, in planning all this, right, and I remember I messaged you saying, have you got this picture? And you're like, crikey, we've really known each other for years, for since 2007, maybe?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And I met you in a friend's band. So Decode, who is my co-presenter on Radio 1, he had a friend called Elio, who's an Italian guitarist, and he was also a guitarist in Shiva Sound System. And as we know, everything's so incestuous in the musical world and there's so many overlaps. So Dee played keys in Elio's band. And you were a vocalist in Elio's band back then. Yes.
That was the first time I met you. I think I came to Hyde Park Corner and you guys asked me to sing over something. And then I started performing with the band.
Was I there? Oh, yeah. But how did that work? How did you meet Elio and stuff?
You know what? I really don't know. Was I with Prash at that? Was I touring with Engine-Earz at that point?
No, Engine-Earz was way after that.
After. I really don't know how that happened, honestly. You know what? I can't remember. It was that long ago. How long ago was that? Like
strange confluence.
13 years ago.
Yeah, 13, it was a long time ago.
That was my age away.
Because that was it. Because I remember, we obviously crossed paths with the whole, Elio crew and D crew and stuff like that. And then, of course, you started touring with Engine-Earz, which was amazing as well, because it's another family connection. It's like,
Yeah.
So how did that happen? How did you meet Prash?
Did you tell Prash about me, or did Prash just, do you know what? I still to this day do know.
I've got a feeling that I might have without remembering.
Of course. You're always at the center of everything now. This is what I think I've just learned over the years.
Just this, but the thing is, I'm normally so shit-faced that I forget half the things that I've done. So I'm just like, oh yeah, maybe. But I don't know. I don't actually remember. I might have done.
So I mean, it was really weird. I was such a huge fan of the Engine-Earz at the time, and I remember I was sending everyone Prash's music.
Yeah.
And literally within a month, I get this email asking to sort of come down, meet them, and think about working with them. So that was the beginning of
That's
the journey.
interesting. That might have been because I think that at that point I was on Radio 1 with D, and then Prush used to work with us at Shiver Sound System from 2002. So we obviously go back donkeys of years as well.
Way back.
So I'm sure there's some overlap there.
It was that.
Yeah, there must have been some overlap there. But that Maida Vale session was very, very special. That kickstarted so much shit for so many people. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was, how many years ago was that now?
I'm going to Google it. Because I think that was the first sort of live interpretation of dubstep at that point. So it was really kind of a new thing when, it had always been sort of studio and club based and not necessarily live. And then also there was a bunch of brown people in it. So it was obviously had all these like amazing fucking sounds from talented people that could actually play the instruments as opposed to just samples. It was wicked. Let me look it up. Maida Vale, Engine-Earz. Because there was you, Jenna, Nathan, 2009 it says here.
Lena Cullen.
Lena, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I love her voice. 2009. My gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it must. Yeah. So the Engine-Earz was definitely after we first met, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crikey. And then you went on tour with them, right? So you were touring with the Engine-Earz, playing Veena. Yeah.
So we played like Latitude. We played Glasgow, which was amazing. We played quite a few different stages at Glasgow. So yeah, that was sort of at the start of my musical journey, I would say. Then I started I played Veena. I played acoustic Veena to start off with. And then I think around 2010, I started I sort of ordered my first electric Veena.
Yeah. So why did you do that? Was that because you were playing on massive, big fuck-off electric stages and you wanted to be heard and picked up correctly?
Yeah, maybe that would be cool, right? Let me try something new. And so I went and picked up my electric Veena, and then Prash was like, why don't you get some pedals? Like, this would be really cool. I literally had no idea. I just thought, I'm trying to plug in my electric Veena. He's like, no, you've got to
put some effects on it.
Yeah, exactly. Prash is like the king of that stuff.
Yeah.
So he was like, let's go to Tottenham Court Road and let's just see what you can get. Like, let's start you off on this sort of journey. So we went shopping at Tottenham Court Road and bought like my first little effects pedal and plugged it in, and that was me, basically. I was like, I don't think I've actually gone back to the acoustic Veena since. I loved it so much, so I sort of just stuck with it.
That doorway had opened and you're like, no, never going back.
Yeah, not going back.
That's awesome. Is it like, so describe the difference between the two for people that don't really know.
So the acoustic Veena.
Sorry. Before you answer that question, what is the difference between a Veena and a sitar? There you go.
So a sitar is like the younger cousin of a Veena. I might be wrong, so people can correct me on this. But the Veena is older than the sitar. It's got 4 strings, as opposed to sitar, which I think is 6. And sitar is played sort of diagonally, and you sit with it slightly differently, whereas the Veena is it's bigger, older cousin. So yeah, and it's less sort of it's got less strings in general, less thingy.
So less arm movements as well, or more?
No, same arm movements, but it's in a sort of different position. So the fretboard sort of sits across
on your lap.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to diagonally.
And upright. So you've got like that, but you guys are like that.
I like this. Yeah.
So it's like a string piano kind of.
Sort of. Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Oh, well.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair enough. And then the difference between a Veena and an electric Veena, because I know that it's about pickups and stuff, but you will explain it way better than I ever could.
Yeah, I mean, the electric Veena is just, it's not got that big dome sort of, because it doesn't need to resonate. So it's like a much, hey, Prasanna.
Yeah. Big up Prasanna, man. All the musical crew in the house, man.
Actually, Prasanna is like road crew. He's like been there since like day dot. Like we've been playing since we were like 10.
Oh, wow. Really? Like from like proper Chuddy Buddy vibes?
Yeah, Chuddy Buddy vibes.
But yeah, Prasanna is such a fucking amazing musician. I've seen him hold like shows together because of his percussion. Like, and I keep saying this to him. You know, in that Spider-Man film where there's this boat that's in half and Spider-Man's holding this shit together with all these webs, right? That's Prasanna with his percussion. Yeah, just holding this whole shit together. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Prasanna and I grew up together. And I think some of my first like classical shows in India, where my dad was like, right, you're going to be a, you know, straight and narrow classical musician. This is what's for you. So took me off to India and we did gigs together in India.
I never knew that. Is that how you got into it? Was it parental pressure that put you into that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know this about you.
Dude, we're brown. What else is there? Parental pressure.
Parental pressure for me was like, you are going to be a doctor, you little shit. For that. Yeah, that was it. Like,
I mean, that too, of course.
But you had a musical angle to it. That's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, they laid it on thick. It was like both, and I was expected to do great in both. But I love them for it now, obviously, not at the time.
Did they get a bit like, because you were talking about being straight-laced and on tour with Prasanna, who's like, and I love Prasanna to bits, but he's not exactly like a wild card. He's a really lovely, safe, secure person. He's not like a dickhead like me who would like to just run off into the night at a moment's notice. You know what I mean? He'd genuinely take care of things. And so when you went from doing that to going on tour with a bunch of electronic musical reprobates, were your parents a bit like, what the fuck are you doing?
So yes and no. I think my dad has always been like the open-minded one. My mum was always like, why are you, I mean, we taught you the music, but why are you still doing this? Whereas my dad's always been very much like, yeah, cool, try it. I mean, his heart is always in classical music. Yeah. But my dad's always been, he's probably the person that gives me the courage to sort of, live a bit on the edge.
That's wicked.
Yeah, which is nice. So yeah, they taught me, you know, growing up, I learned Carnatic, Veena, Carnatic singing, Bharatanatyam, piano, saxophone, harmonium, literally everything.
Holy shit.
And so, that's how Prasanna was probably from the start, and then I evolved on to the Engine-Earz, and then I've just kept going and getting, you know, stranger and stranger.
Yeah, well, actually, there was one tack which was like, all of us were a bit like, what the fuck? When we sort of we put on the TV and you're on the fucking Voice, and it was like, whoa. And like throwing in like, I don't know whether they're Carnatic or Hindustani scales that you threw into sort of popular R&B stuff.
Yeah, it was a bit of both. I sort of started experimenting between North Indian and South Indian classical music quite young. So yeah, I sort of, that was, again, I sung at my friend's wedding. I had stopped doing music for a while. I sang at my friend's wedding, at my friend Sarah's wedding. And everyone was so nice that night. And I think my friends had pushed me to sort of apply for one of these shows for a while.
Yeah.
And so I then, the next morning, I wasn't planning on going to the audition. The next morning, I just sort of woke up and thought, yeah.
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into that.
That was,
which was, you know, it was a great experience. It was, you know, it taught you a lot, and you really got to see a different side of it all. But definitely, I would say it helped me grow as a musician, and it really forced me to start mixing my Western and my classical styles. Yeah. It was where I first really started experimenting with it, and then I've sort of carried on after that. So
it must have been interesting to see, like you said, like I said before, going on tour with a bunch of electronic reprobates to like the music industry in a more accessible way with something like The Voice. So The Voice is a TV series, which is like a sort of reality sort of talent show, essentially. But Abi came on and knocked everyone's socks off with her amazing range in your voice. It was just like, yo, this is fucking cool. And that was the sort of adulation that you received a bit of a head fuck, or were you just like, oh, this is quite nice?
It was really nice. I can't lie, I'm not hugely into like engaging in sort of that side, so I'll never watch sort of my performances back. I never, even though obviously I appreciate all the lovely comments that people leave, I'm always quite cautious about reading things like YouTube comments, because you'll always get someone, you know, saying something a little nasty on there. So I just think it's healthier for my mind not to see it.
Good fucking call.
So, yeah. I suppose you have to protect yourself in certain ways.
You know, yeah.
So no, it was lovely. I loved it. It was, you know, really fun being out and being recognised and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you just have to keep yourself grounded.
How did you accomplish that? Was it because you'd already been doing music for a while and you'd done stuff like, you know, like we said, a Maida Vale session, you've had exposure to big audiences already. Did that help?
Yeah, it did help. And I suppose just having like a healthy bunch of friends around you that, you know, actually look out for you and sort of, so after every sort of performance or anything, like the next day, my friends would be online. They would look through all the comments, so they would tell me all the nice stuff. Yeah. And they would just leave out like horrible comments. So yeah, just as long as you've got people around you that you trust and actually care for your well-being, then you'll be fine.
That's really sweet. I was going to say, like, going back to that sort of your hiatus that you took, I'm sure that was around the time I gave you a copy of Watchmen, just before you vanished.
Yes. And I was already experimenting at that point as well. Yeah. I was doing all sorts of weird stuff. I was like trying to produce my own stuff.
I wanted to get your songwriting a little darker and twisted. So I was like, ha, read this. This will fuck your head up nicely.
No. I mean, that was a huge part of my growth. Mentoring me, Nerm.
Shut up, Guru, my chitan. Yeah. There's no way.
I mean, yeah, calling you Guruji, that just feels weird though.
I'm more of a demon than anything else. I'd happily be like the demon on the shoulder going, rather than anything else. There's nothing wholesome about me. No.
No, I forgot to get that. I do have that copy, actually. I still have it, so don't worry.
Have you actually fucking read it?
I always think of you when I see it. I did it, and I actually, like a couple of months ago, because Rushel loves that stuff, I got it out, and we were actually reading through it together. So, yeah.
Lovely.
I still have it. Don't worry.
Lovely. Well, that was another. So that whole chunk was like The Voice, and then kind of post The Voice, there was this. You know, I think there was. I saw you then in India, and we were discussing your new experimentations there. Yeah. How did you go from doing like The Voice in the UK to being in India, and then pushing the boat out, like eventually getting to the Qawwali stuff and all of those reinterpretations? But how did that transition happen?
So post The Voice, I did a little bit of music, and then I went on a hiatus. Like I like my little hiatus. And then I think it was in 2015, 16. I went to Rushel actually contacted me. We didn't know each other. He contacted me via email and said, "Hey, do you want to play a show with us?" So I met Rushel, who was working with the Fusion Project at the time. And then we started working together, and we realized we had a lot in common musically. And he loved Qawwali, I loved Qawwali. That's how that chapter started. I've been singing Qawwali for a long time, probably sort of 8 to 10 years with my tabla player Amrit. And then we were just always gigging, but we always wanted to record something, but we just never quite knew how to do it. And then Rushel was the final piece, basically, that brought everything together. So when we met in 2016, we slowly started working on all these Qawwalis we'd been singing. And that's how that happened. I think when I came to see you when I saw you in, was it Bombay?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were in Mumbai, we had just opened for Bryan Adams. Again.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So Rushel's manager had gotten him a slot to open for Bryan Adams in Ahmedabad. Right. And so Rushel was like, "Come along with me." So we did sort of some of our own music there, but at the same time we were recording Qawwali stuff. And then I came to Mumbai and met you. Always doing a million things now, and that's me.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the sort of growth and trajectory, and I think the appreciation for your music in the comments is really sweet. You've got so many so many people sort of jumping in and saying they love your work, and there's such a wide body of work as well. It's just awesome.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.
But yeah, the Qawwali stuff is it's fascinating, because for me, like you said, you had this little break in the middle. So going from, hey, Anita's here, big up Anita, yay.
Hi, Anita.
So going from like that kind of almost sort of, you know, reinterpretation of R&B to then jumping into Qawwali is like a huge jump. That's like quite a sort of, they're almost diametrically opposed in a way.
Yeah, but I suppose it's more where it's more where my roots are in terms of classical, because I grew up doing classical music, be it Carnatic, Hindustani, and I suppose growing up in England, I don't know if people might not relate to this, but for me, growing up in England, being brown, I wasn't just my parents are Sri Lankan, but I wasn't just Sri Lankan. I was just sort of this generalized brown, where like I got to absorb everybody in the brown community's sort of culture. So I grew up with like Pakistanis, Punjabis, Gujaratis, and because of that, I think all of that has been a part of my personal, like my roots. I don't know. I know it sounds a bit strange, but yeah, like literally I grew up always listening to like Carnatic music, Nusrat, bhajans. Like it wasn't ever anything specifically religious or, you know, cultural. It's just a mix of everything. So I know it probably seems to some people strange, but to me it's quite normal.
I think that's really, really, really fucking lovely, because I think for me there was this distinction between like underground and mainstream, and for, you know, for me, seeing you being able to sort of go between the two is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got a sort of finger in every pie, but you do it so authentically, which is great, you know.
Thank you.
And that's also led to like your new track with Nitin, which is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So you guys and Nitin is just like, it's a wicked tune.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, obviously Nitin is amazing. I've listened to him since I was really young.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about Sushila afterwards. I mean, I'd met Nitin probably about 10 years ago, and just timing wasn't right in terms of us working together. We started working together, and then...
So we spoke about you. I don't think you know about this, but Nitin and I happened to be on tour together in 2009 in Dubai. And I just had a flashback of like me, him, Arif, his tabla player, and Dee were in this hotel bar like you are in Dubai, because where else are you going to bloody go? And your name came up, and I was like, oh shit, I remember that conversation vividly. And that was in 2009. Hey, Jenna's here talking about Engine-Earz crew them.
Hi, Jenna. Oh my god.
Big up Jenna G.
This woman's voice.
This woman, full stop, is fucking amazing. She's incredible.
I remember always like when we were touring with Engine-Earz, and when I was touring with Engine-Earz, I'd be sitting there playing Veena, and she would sing, and I would just always come home and be like, I just don't understand. She's just got so much power behind her voice. It's ridiculous. Like, she's ridiculous.
That's good. That's because there's so much power in her. Full stop.
In her.
She's an amazing woman. Hey, did you come to India on tour with Engine-Earz?
No, I don't think I did. I missed that one.
On that tour with Driving Lolita, Akala, and no, you weren't there for that one.
No, although I'm on a track with Akala. On Prash's latest album, well, the album that he dropped a couple of years ago that got nominated.
The only album. There's only one album. It's just been 25 years in the making. It was like forever being made.
Right, he's a perfectionist.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely, and it's to be expected, you know. And it sounds fucking. It is amazing. It is amazing. But
it was Grammy nominated, so it was worth the wait, Hans.
It won a Grammy, didn't it?
I think it was Grammy nominated. I'm not sure.
No, okay. It won the best surround sound album.
Yeah.
I'm 98% sure. Hang on a second. I'm going to look this up. Yeah, I'm sure they won. I'm sure he won for best surround album. Off the top of my head. Off my uncle archival head. Hang on, album. Let me see. Oh, best immersive audio album. Come on, bastard. Hang on. Find immersive. That's the word.
But yes. So I was featured on, the one with Akala and one other track on the album. But I love Akala, so that's amazing that my name is next to his.
I think you're right. I think it was nominated, didn't win. Oh well.
That's slightly orcs now.
Hey man, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can totally admit when I'm wrong. I can totally admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. Yeah.
He won in our eyes.
Huh?
So.
He's a winner constantly. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he should win an Oscar as well, also. And he should have a fucking EGOT.
You should win an Oscar.
Hey man, all you get from me is just brutal fucking honesty. That's it. There's no editing at play here. But yeah, so so going back to Nitin, so you guys met like 10 years ago, and then it finally happened.
10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago we met.
Sorry. That is 12 years ago.
Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, it was 12 years ago. And yeah, timing wasn't right at the time, and I was finishing uni and all sorts of things. So
Nick Hawks is here. Big up the Engine-Earz family. Yes.
Oh, Nick Hawks. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Stuart.
Sir of Hawks. Yes.
Sir Hawks. Yes.
Sir Nicholas of Hawks.
So where were we?
12 years ago. Yeah.
12 years ago. Yeah. And then I remember Prash invited me backstage when Prash did some performances with Nitin.
At the Albert Hall, right?
Yeah, at the Royal Albert Hall, and I went backstage. This is like years later, and I remember standing backstage watching, being like, "Oh man, this is amazing! I'm so gutted I'm not part of this." And then somehow we ended up working together anyway. So that's been amazing.
That's wicked. That's wicked.
Rushel and I together as well, so it's actually even more special.
So going into that whole thing, like Rushel, I met through you, and it's sort of like. He's a vocalist and a guitar player, as far as I know, and a songwriter. How has that changed your songwriting process, working together?
Rushel, gosh, he's literally finally, I was always looking for someone to sort of try and piece together all the different parts of me, because I have so many musical parts that sometimes conflict. And I think it was always a struggle, like someone trying to work out what to do with me. And I would say Rushel was literally like the one of the only people that I've ever met that has been like, okay, we're going to do this. You need to record something. You need to put something out there. So yeah, he's actually the genius behind everything, the Qawwali stuff, Veena stuff. He sort of has given me the guts to be like, well, you need to release some stuff. So he's actually been my sort of the person that's really pushed me the most to start releasing my own music. But he's a genius, literally like a genius.
That's awesome. That's wicked that you can work together so well. And then on differences, your voices just complement each other so fucking well. Who wrote those vocal parts? Was that you guys, or was that Nitin kind of prodding you both?
We all were in the studio together, so it was just sort of a bit of experimentation and seeing what worked, and it finally came together. But yeah, obviously Nitin is super experienced, so he sort of, for him, it was like him doing this with his eyes closed. He can do that shit like this. Yeah, it's just like in, out, But it was such a pleasure, obviously, working with Rushel and being able to do that track with Rushel as well.
Have you guys got anything live worked out? I mean, obviously, like live, but I mean, in terms of performance stuff with Nitin, or is that
Nitin? Yeah. I mean, I'm performing with him next week, actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. So we're doing a performance at Sadler's Wells, which I think is going to be filmed. So we're doing that next week, and loads of other live performances coming up.
Live, like real life, like is it actually playing music with another human being in a performative space?
Yes, unfortunately, I don't think the performances coming up right now aren't going to be with an audience, they will just be filmed. But
still, the ability to play with other musicians in a space must be so fucking like amazing.
Amazing, yeah, most definitely. Like, I can't wait. It's not gonna feel real. So yeah, and that's been really hard in terms of the Qawwali stuff.
Anita's gonna be there, basket. Of course she is. Of course she is. I'm so fucking jealous of all of you bastards. You better have at least some fun backstage, socially distant and masked, of course. You bastards. Yeah. I'm very, 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 very envious of. I mean, that's the thing, I think that there's the idea of gigs, but for me, It's like, you know, you rehearse, you practice, you get your shit down, you understand your craft, you get out of your own way and you perform the gig. And then afterwards, it's all the shenanigans that I really look forward to.
Yeah. And you're always there for those shenanigans. You never miss out. You know what? Whenever we've been anywhere, somehow, I don't even know you're going to be there. You don't tell me, but you were always there.
Like you say, I'm at the center of this web of mischief. That's probably.
Really. Well, that was it when I saw you at Susheila's thing.
Which
Who, by the way,
thing?
Sushila did a performance at not
the Sam Wanamaker Sam Wanamaker
yes,
Theatre.
That's the one. Sorry,
with
that's
William Dalrymple, right?
Well, sorry?
With William Dalrymple.
Yeah.
Were you there for that?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, were you singing?
You don't remember me. I mean, that's a bit rude. Rude.
Big up Nick Hawke saying we all love the shenanigans. Indeed.
Oh yeah, Nick Hawke loves the shenanigans.
So, did you stay for the afters at
I
Susheila's?
did. You were running around like a Tasmanian devil, as you usually are. But yes, I was there. You told me to stay. I was going to go home, and you're like, "No, you have to stay. This is going to be amazing."
Okay. Was it amazing?
It was amazing, yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because I was a huge fan of Sushila. Like, literally, I think I was like 10 or 11 when her Salt Rain.
First album, Salt Rain. Yep.
Yeah.
Are you that much younger than me? You were 10 when Salt Rain came out.
Yeah.
I feel so old. Oh, oh God.
Yeah, it was about 10, 11, yeah. And I love that. That was like one of the first albums actually that influenced me into thinking, because she's South Indian, a lot of Carnatic music.
Yeah.
So she was sort of
mixing it up.
with it. Yeah. So that was the first album that I thought, ooh. So yeah, then I stayed and I met her, which was lovely, her and Sam.
Hang on, you were performing at the Sam Wanamaker Theatre with Sushila?
No. I'm going to be performing there.
Oh, sorry. You were in the audience, weren't you?
I was in the audience, yeah.
And I made you stay for the afters. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah. Okay, I was in my head, I was like, how are you on stage with Sushila? I would have remembered that, but no, okay, you were there.
That would have been super awkward if you didn't remember.
That's what I mean. That's what I thought. I thought you were fucking performing. I was like, did I fuck up? Have I really forgotten a whole performance?
Oh, no.
Which is genuinely unlike me, because I remember the performance. It's the afters I don't remember, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised, that was...
So, I mean, shit, bullying people, especially you, into staying for parties is kind of what I do.
Yeah.
Because I made you come to my gig last year as well, and I'm fucking glad I did.
Yeah, you did.
Because then the whole world went into lockdown a week later.
Yeah, that was like one of the last things that we did.
Yes. So I'm glad,
Yeah. And I met Anushka. Fun girl.
Oh, yeah. Of course. But have you not worked with Sushila yet at all?
No, I haven't. I haven't worked with her yet. Huh. But no, she was super sweet when I met her. She was like, I like what you do, and send me stuff. And so it was. I came away from that gig calling Rushel, like, oh my God, Sushila knew who I was. This is amazing. So yeah, and then I think. Yeah, and then your gig, I met Anushka. Again, I was too scared to go up to Anushka, even though we'd spoken on Insta, and she's really sweet and super supportive of what I'm doing. So we'd messaged on Insta, and then I saw her, and Rusha was with me at the time, and he was like, "Well, go and talk to her." I was like, "No, I can't."
You're such a sweet nerd. Just go and say hello. What's wrong with you, idiot?
I was too scared. I was like, "No, I can't go and say hello to Anushka." So Rushel went up to her and was like, "Hi, Anushka, this is Abi." Poor guy.
I'm so glad that he's just stood there with a pencil going, do it.
Like, yeah, talk to her, don't be such an idiot.
Yeah, totally.
So,
oh, that's lovely. I'm glad your musical world's expanding and you're doing like cool shit. What's next then?
So we're still working on, we've had so much love for the Qawwali project, which again I'm so shocked about. Literally, we released Mankunto Mola in January 2020, just before the world went into lockdown. But we had loads of bookings and everything lined up for that, and just the support has been immense. So we have to carry on doing that. So we've got more. We're working on more Qawwali.
I've got to connect. I've got another connection I need to make because we can't do it in real life. So I have to do this right now while we're talking. Hi, Ramona. Ramona's in the chat. Big up, Ramona. There's a friend of mine in New York called Vandana who's fucking amazing, and she's been doing like weird gothic Qawwali interpretations.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you guys have got like, yeah, and she like her sort of remixing or reinterpreting your shit would be sick, or even a collab thing would be sick.
Oh, most definitely.
It's all dark and smoky, so it's like Alison Moyet. As if imagine if Alison Moyet was Pakistani and singing Qawwali.
Do you say New York?
Yeah.
Is it called? Does she brand it as like neo Sufi or something like that?
Vandana, yeah.
I've heard her. She's great. She's great.
Fucking. I'm gonna have to connect you guys like on the back end because I can't like push you together in a venue, unfortunately, anymore. But yeah, soon I hope.
But yeah, we're working on more of that, which is really difficult right now during COVID because obviously Qawwali is like you've got like a whole troupe of singers, so to be able to, we can't really get everyone together right now because it's just not safe. So that's the only reason why we haven't been releasing as many. Like we're always getting messages when is the next one, when is the next one. And it's more just because we've had to slow down because it's just not safe. We don't obviously want to all gather in a group.
And you can't, I mean, obviously with Qawwali, you can't, it's I guess it's super difficult to record remotely as well. Because everyone's got to feel the vibe and connect into it. You can't really do like one part at a time.
No, and so to get that many people together to jam, and it's not, and Qawwali is not something that you sing softly either. You're all like screaming passionately. So yeah, that's why it's slowed down, which is really sad because everybody is asking like when the next one is, but soon.
When did you record? Where do you typically record?
So before initially we recorded in Cyprus because one of our friends,
that sounds fucking lovely.
It's amazing. Oh my God. I have to take you to that recording studio actually. And
sorry, I just spat out. The idea of going to a recording studio in Cyprus just made me dribble all over myself. Like, yeah, please. I want to get out of here, please. That'd be nice. Fuck.
I am there.
Yeah.
So Russell grew up in Cyprus.
Oh, wow.
So literally he was born in Mumbai.
That explains his Mediterranean good looks. I see. Right.
Rushil the hottie. So he grew up, he was born in Mumbai and then...
Rushil the Kushil. Yeah, because he's cushy. No, that's rubbish. Yeah? That's rubbish. No. More whiskey, it will come to me. But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
So he grew up in Cyprus. His parents moved to Cyprus after he was born in India. So then he's got a lot of musical roots there as well. And so one of our friends, Chris, has a studio, huge studio in Cyprus, and it's gorgeous, like in the hills, in the middle of nowhere. And it's just got so much live space, so we can all like sort of separate and record. So we all perform together, but we're all separated, so we can record everything like, to the highest quality. So that's again why everything slowed down, because that's a perfect place to record for us.
And all the singers came to Cyprus to record then?
No, we recorded the singers in London, so we did everything else live. So all of these Qawwalis, they're like 10 minutes long, but they're start to finish, my vocal performance, the tablas, the piano, the guitar, they're all done in one take. And then we got the huge Qawwali troupe to go to a studio in London, and we recorded the troupe.
Right. So you record it in one massive take and then do your sort of top line bits in Cyprus over the top of it?
Yeah, and the strings and everything go on top. Because Qawwali is not something that you can record to click. It's
it's on a natural basis, right? You've got to just do it as it comes.
Slow, and then the tabla will just slowly progress into a faster speed. So yeah, that's why we needed to do a lot of the elements live, and then we could sort of then layer it on top.
Yeah. Sprinkle your magic dust on top as and where it's needed.
Rushil's magic dust, yes.
Rushil's magic dust. That sounds really fucking ominous and something that I'd be very partial to, but we're not going to discuss. Yeah, man. So, I mean, there's that. And I guess I'm kind of really envious that you've got a gig next week and that Anita's going to be there. I'm like really, really, really jealous.
I know what's going to happen. You're going to be there again, aren't you?
Mate, you know what? I'd be there. Ordinarily, I'd be there in a fucking flash, right? I'd call up whoever and I'd just sneak in through the back door easily. But, you know, lockdown rules and regulations and all that shit, it's impossible to sneak into anywhere. All of my guest list prowess, all of my blagging, all of my ability to sort of get through security barriers and pass security guards and jump over the hurdles of guest lists mean nothing anymore. And just like, yeah, I spent maybe...
Sorry? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure if anyone can manage it, it's you now.
I think these skills have been finely tuned since I was 14, and now I'm 42. So I'm like, I just hope post-COVID all these skills have come to play again. You know what I mean? It's like,
of course. You'll never lose it.
Yeah. So in fact, I guess you can't go into detail about what the set list is and all that kind of shit. But like, you're on, like, Nitin's album's due out, what, next week? Or is it out? When's it due out? Hang on. I thought it was in March, actually.
I think it's releasing track by track. I don't know if the whole album is out or...
Hang on, I'm going to look this up. I'm trying to spell immigrants and spelling it out. Immigrants album release date, 19th of March. Huh. So you're obviously on the album, right? Yes,
on 2 tracks. Rachel and I are on 2 tracks.
Ah, and I think that what Nitin said is that all of the singles are going to be rejigged for the album, so you're not hearing the same track twice. So for differences, it's a different version of differences on the album. It's a different differences. Ah, very good.
It is.
Fuck, I'm such an uncle. I've been getting more uncle throughout lockdown.
Oh.
So
maybe that'll do you some good now.
Sorry?
Maybe that'll do you some good.
Gee, fuck that. Uncleness is the end game anyway. Like people are saying to me, shave your head. And I'm like, that's going to end up my default anyway. Right now, I'm going to cling on to what I have for dear life. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy it while you've got it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Well, so look, good luck for rehearsals for this gig.
Thank you.
Incredibly fucking jealous. But yeah, I mean, is it going to be televised or what? How's it going to get out there?
I think it's going to be televised. You know what? I don't actually know all the details. So I think it is. I mean, they're filming it for a reason, right?
Okay, yeah, I mean, they've got to be filming it because no one's going to do something and not film it now in this current situation. So that makes sense. You know what? I'm just going to pump my friends that will be there for information. That's a good point.
Anita.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Anita right now. What's this for? Come on, let me just message her right now.
Really cool. I'm obviously doing a really bad job at promoting Nitin's album. I'm really sorry, Nitin.
I mean, that's his album. It's not your fucking album. It's not your problem. Fuck that. I mean, jeez. But no, hang on a second. Anita, what is the gig next week for? And can I talk about it publicly? That's more important.
Oops.
Yeah. Le Cali. In fact, we'll see. Yeah, that's good to know. Right. So maybe if there's some miracle, you might actually see me next week. Who knows? Maybe I'll take a walk up to Angel and from Shoreditch and just go, hi! And then, oh, actually, that's an interesting one. No, that wouldn't work.
Hearing from the windows.
Yeah, I don't want to break any protocol, like any sort of lockdown protocols. So, yeah, I'll think of something. Maybe I'll go for my daily exercise routine that way. My walk.
Okay.
Yeah. But look, thank you so much for this. And I'm going to bug you about loads of other future stuff. Oh, by the way, fuck, I forgot one thing. I totally forgot one thing, which is perfect to end this whole chat on. I forgot that you were in one of my music videos.
Oh God!
And I've got to, you don't know this, but basically, I'm going to show this to you. You are on my secondary monitor. You can see that.
Oh,
so that is you in the mask.
That is me.
That is crazy.
That's how long we've known each other for.
Yeah, and that's also, I think, that really typifies how I encourage my friends to embrace darkness. And just like, yeah, wear a mask and look really scary. Like, okay. That sums it all up. But look, hopefully I'll see you soon. And good luck for next week. And I can't wait to hear all these new things from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for sending love. Yeah,
and thank you everybody for joining us for this chat. And see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.